exposing the lies, the framing of Aaron Brady, and the betrayal of justice. In recent weeks, we have irrefutably proven to the Irish public that it is physically impossible for Aaron Brady to have been one of the raiders who attacked the Lordship Credit Union on the night that Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe was brutally murdered. But now it is time to go further, to tear apart the fictional narrative and the fictional gang created by the Irish authorities and amplified by the mainstream media. This web of lies has not only framed an innocent man, but has also betrayed the memory of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe by allowing his killer false promises and fabrications. Let us start with the press statement made by the Garda management after Aaron's conviction in August 2020. Promises were made, bold declarations that justice would be served and the remaining members of the so-called gang would be brought to account. These promises are now 4 years old, and they have proven to be nothing more than empty words. The Gardaes claim, like their entire investigation, were a fabrication from the start to the finish. The narrative they created, on rounding up gang members and securing justice, is nothing but a complete tissue of lies. This was not a pursuit of justice. It was a desperate attempt to cover up their incompetence, using Aaron as a scapegoat to shield themselves from accountability. So now let us listen to the statement of Deputy Commissioner John Twomey, ably assisted by Senior Investigating Officer Mangan, Senior Investigating Officer Beggy, and Senior Investigating Officer Phillips, in Twomey's web of lies.
Today's a day of mixed emotions following the conviction earlier on. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the family of Adrian, with his wife Caroline, and the extended family. And I want to take the opportunity here to thank the investigation team, the management standing here behind me, and the wider investigation team who are still conducting, still working away. And I have a clear message that the investigation continues. There were other people involved in this horrific crime, and you will be brought to justice, and we will make every effort and leave no stone unturned. I want to make an appeal and reiterate and support what Chief Superintendent Mangan will say to you in the next couple of minutes. No society can tolerate crimes of this nature, and we as the law enforcement agency will do everything we can to work with the community to bring the perpetrators to justice. I also want to make an appeal to the people who committed the crime that we will be knocking on your door and we will make sure that you pay for this horrendous act.
The 4 men you've just seen in this clip, along with the entire staff in the Fort Apache incident room in Dundalk, know the facts that we have shared with you, the Irish public, not only in the last number of weeks, but over this last 4.5 years. These 4 men know that we have put forward the facts and the truth, and we will continue to do so. And now we want to show you once again that the 4 men that attacked Lordship Credit Union car park physically cannot be Aaron Brady. Let us break down what actually happened on the night of the attack, using the actual CCTV footage and the eyewitness testimonies. Evidence that the authorities refuse to acknowledge because it destroys their false narrative and their lies. First, let's have a look at the attack on Bernadette, the credit union worker. Let us have a look at the attack on her micro.
Here we see Bernadette exit the credit union building and make her way to her vehicle. Bernadette has told us that the raider who attacked her car had a Dublin accent, so therefore cannot be Aaron. We see as Bernadette reverses her vehicle, watch closely as the raider attacks her driver's door. We've inserted 2 markers here for reference. The blue dot gives us the height of the micro, which we know to be 5 feet. The red dot gives us the height of the raider, which we have calculated at 5'10" to 6 feet tall. These measurements and the statement from Bernadette McShane tells us this cannot be Aaron Brady.
The physical evidence you have just seen and the testimony from the eyewitness tells us that this raider had a Dublin accent and he stands somewhere between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. Aaron Brady is 5'7" and does not have a Dublin accent. The raider cannot be Aaron Brady. Now let us look at the attack on the second car belonging to Credit Union worker Pat Bellew, driver's door. And as Raider 3 moves around the car, you can notice the red dot. This dot marks the apex of the open door of Bellew's Mazda, which is 4 foot 8 inches, 56 inches in height. The white dot tracks the height of the Raider as he moves. Watch carefully as he turns and flees. This is where we must take note of this crucial detail. Pat Bellew, in his statements to An Garda Síochána and in the court, repeatedly described his attacker as tall, not small. He couldn't have been clearer. Pat Bellew, an eyewitness, described the raider as tall, definitely not small. The CCTV footage supports this, showing the raider to be approximately 6 feet tall. Once again, this raider cannot be Aaron. Now let us go to the critical footage that shows the two armed raiders, including the man with the shotgun who murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe.
The man with the shotgun stands between 6'1" and 6 feet 3 inches, substantially taller than both gunman A and Aaron Brady. These measurements, rooted in the very physics of the crime scene, directly contradict the prosecution's claim. The man standing before us in the footage cannot be Aaron Brady.
The height of the raiders, confirmed by CCTV footage and eyewitness accounts, prove conclusively that Aaron cannot be either of these two men. The getaway vehicle also must be mentioned here. Eyewitness accounts confirm that the driver of the getaway vehicle was a female with short blonde hair. This critical detail, again deliberately hidden by authorities, further exposing their cover-up. A systemic cover-up by Garda authorities. The Garda's claims are not just false, they are deliberate lies. The CCTV footage proves their narrative is fabricated. Eyewitness statements contradict every claim they have made. The real perpetrators remain free while an innocent man languishes in prison, which makes Commissioner Twomey's press statement even more sickening and even more depraved. Their investigation was not a pursuit of truth. It was a premeditated cover-up to frame Aaron and close a case they had failed to solve. This is not just an injustice, it is a betrayal of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe's memory and a slap in the face to every member of the Irish public who demands accountability and fairness in our judicial system. We now challenge the Irish public. We ask you, as members of the Irish public, can you accept that Aaron is an innocent man? Can you accept he has been wrongly convicted while the real killer of Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe still walks free? Can you allow the authorities to continue their lies, go unchecked, knowing that they have failed Adrian Donohoe, his family and the Irish judicial system? Will you, the public, remain silent in the face of such blatant corruption and deception? This miscarriage of justice is not just an attack on Aaron. It is an attack on the very principles of fairness and accountability and truth that surely must underpin our society. Our truth must be heard. The Justice for Aaron Brady campaign will not stop until the lies are exposed and justice is served. Not just for Aaron, but for Detective Garda Adrian Donohoe and the integrity of the Irish justice system. We will continue to highlight systemic failures in the Gardaí, the lies of the prosecution and the complicity of those who refuse to question the official narrative. We will not rest until there is justice for Aaron and Aaron has been exonerated. The time for silence is over. The time for action is now. Demand answers, demand accountability, demand justice. Aaron is innocent and the truth cannot be buried. Join us, please, in exposing this cover-up and fighting for justice.